Have you ever asked yourself the question, why would anybody buy my handmade candles? Now, that question could either emphasize the my or emphasize the handmade, depending on who's saying it. It's either, why would somebody buy my handmade candles? Or why would somebody buy handmade candles when there's so many other cheaper alternatives out there? Now, I've been a part of Jeff Stanley's Facebook group, the DIY Candle Making Beginner to Advanced, for almost 3 years now. And in that time of me being a part of that group, I have seen this question come up, or this discussion of feeling like we are competing with Bath and Body Works on their sales and their prices and all of that kind of stuff. And every time I see posts like that, I think to myself, yeah, you're right. We cannot compete with Bath and Body Works on production. We can't compete with Bath and Body Works on price. We can't compete with Bath and Body Works on their crazy sales. I feel like right now, I just looked it up and they're doing a sale right now for their fall candles, their 3-wick fall candles, and they are on sale for, I think, under $13, which is just absolutely insane. I'm sure that all of us looking at that are like, I cannot compete with that. And yeah, the truth is, no, you can't. And you never will unless you get to that multi-million-dollar huge production, no longer a small batch hand-poured business. If that is what you're going for, that's great. And there's honestly nothing wrong with that. I don't really talk badly about any other companies, any other big name brand companies at all, because everybody is different. And the truth of the matter is that these companies like Bath and Body Works, they're not our competitors, because we're just in a completely different market. Same product, different market, and let's talk about it. Hello, and welcome to episode 4 of the Candle Business Podcast. I'm your host, Erica Marie Morris, and I am so excited to have you here with me today for another great episode of just hanging out and chatting about different topics, and I have been having a lot of fun with this. So thank you so much for coming back and watching or listening to today's episode. And if you are somebody who has just found my channel, or if you are looking to become a candle business owner yourself, then I do have a gift for you. It is a free download, completely free. I've had a lot of good feedback on this. It is a candle business launch checklist. It's just there for you to kind of go through the list, make sure that you are hitting different things that you may or may not need to be doing prior to actually launching your candle business. So make sure that you go to ericamariemorris.com/checklist. You can download it for free and also join my newsletter. I send out weekly emails of just very helpful candle business tips. I've been really enjoying doing that. It's kind of a different avenue that I've started doing more recently, and I'm having a lot of fun communicating and connecting with you on just a different level. Now, heading into the topic for today's video, we are going to be discussing the topic of why would anybody purchase handmade candles in general when there's so many different mass-produced candle companies that can create candles that are way more affordable to the average consumer. Let's just face it, it's definitely more affordable when you are able to make a massive amount of candles, get the absolute cheapest cost of goods possible, and also pretty much have machines pouring it for you perfectly every single time. And again, there is nothing wrong with that. I don't think that it's a bad thing when companies are able to grow that big. Honestly, it's kind of impressive to think of where I'm at right now and to think of all these companies that get to like this crazy next level. But I know that that's not something that I personally would want to do, but I do know that it's something that maybe many of you might want to get to. And maybe if you don't want to get to the point where it's a machine making it, but you want to have an entire team of other people that hand pour it for you, and you're just kind of wanting to get to that next level, just know that in general, when we are looking at the differences between handmade companies and mass-produced companies, there is going to be a different target market just naturally with that. And the way that I broke down this video is just by sharing with you the reasons why I think that people will buy your handmade candles. And the 3 reasons that we are going to be talking about has to do with quality, community, and customization, and what makes you different from those mass-produced like Bath & Body Works, Yankee Candle, all that kind of stuff. So the first one that we are going to be diving into is quality. So handmade items are like no other. It's really something that you can't compare apples to apples in this situation because it's just different. It's different than a multi-million or multi-billion-dollar company that has either tons of employees or tons of machines that just pour all of these candles perfectly versus somebody who is taking the time to really pick each part of the handmade item and learning and growing with it and creating something that they're proud of and that they actually handmade with their own 2 hands, hence the term handmade. But this is something that I feel like we can feel like just because it's the same product that they're a competitor. But you have to understand that it's just a completely different market. For instance, before I ever became a candle business owner and understood the perspective from a small business, I definitely was more of the target customer for Bath & Body Works, for TJ Maxx candles, for Ross candles, because I was just looking for the absolute cheapest possible candle for me to purchase, and just I didn't care too much about the quality. I just liked the ambiance of it. I just liked the fact that I could just, light it, and I didn't really think too much of it. And I know that because I used to be that customer, I know that there are customers like that. And if there is ever anybody who is telling you that your prices are too high, or why don't you lower your prices to this, or why can't you sell it at this price that Bath & Body Works does, I mean, they're just not your customer. I'm telling you this now, that the people that are just wanting that cheap price, which again, nothing wrong with that. That was me and still kind of me in a lot of situations. I am very frugal in a lot of situations, but I understand now the importance of supporting other small businesses, especially supporting other local small businesses. And that actually brings me to my next point of why people would purchase your handmade candles is the community and that personal connection. So I kind of did community and connection alongside this one, because when we are a small business, we are able to take a more hands-on approach to our business, to meeting our customers, doing the customer service, doing the social media, and really building that community around our products and being able to educate people personally. You are talking and educating your customers and telling them the information on why they should purchase your handmade candles. Now, you're not necessarily sitting there being like, this is why, this is why, this is why, but it's more of an indirect kind of way. So when you're sharing information about making your candles and taking your product photography and the stories behind your candles and the scents and choosing the fragrances and just being able to allow the customer kind of a look behind the curtain, so to speak, a look behind who is behind this product. Because for the longest time before social media, before Instagram, really, I would say, we always knew companies as just being the brand name. Like there's never been a face. Like when you think about Bath & Body Works, do you think of a face? I knew that when I started my candle business, I wanted, for the most part, for when people thought of Memory Box Candle Co., they associated me. They knew who I am, who Erica is behind Memory Box Candle Co. So that's why I get, kind of personal sometimes on my Instagram, talking to people. And I've had people tell me at local markets, that they really enjoy kind of that side of things and seeing how the candles are made and being able to find my YouTube channel from just being a candle customer and being able to get more of that insight into the candle world. And also, the different posts that I post on Instagram too, of just sharing the stories and sharing more information and talking more about me and Chris and just kind of getting a little bit more personal. It gets people more connected to you as a brand versus a very large company, which of course they have great promotion, they have great advertisement marketing, they have great everything, and everybody knows their name, so they don't really have an issue with that. But I think that the thing that makes us as handmade creators stand out is that we are able to be more personal, have that more personal touch. And as time goes on with social media and with marketing and branding and advertising, a lot of people like to just purchase from other people and get to know them. And I have felt like with my local community and with my markets that because I'm able to take my small business to these different areas around the cities around me at all of these different events, I'm able to build up a community of people who are recognizing Chris and I, and repeat customers, and people who are listening to the stories and everything behind the brand. And it's just night and day from being more of that larger corporation kind of feel. It's way more personal, and it's definitely a plus and a positive. And I think that that is definitely the way that the world is headed. It's headed a lot more with kind of, that social marketing, not like MLM stuff. I don't know if anybody of you kind of follows MLM stuff. I'm not a big MLMer. I like actual small businesses. But when it comes to social kind of selling and people being able to tell others the products that they like. So my whole thing is I want everybody and anybody to be sharing my products, to be talking about my candles, to be giving them away as gifts, and just trying to spread my candles as much as I possibly can, build up that community of people that will refer others to purchase my candles versus just stopping by, Ross or TJ Maxx or Bath and Body Works to pick up some candles. And I actually had that the other day. I had somebody whose sister purchased from one of my local markets that I did. Her sister purchased a candle from me, and she said that she loved it so much that she stopped by and purchased 4 more from me for a birthday party for the next day. So it was really cool, and that is what really gets me excited more than anything. I'm not gonna lie, those moments make me really, really happy, really, really excited, because it means that word is spreading. That word of mouth is going to take you so far in your business, and it is probably one of the most important things when it comes to just that natural, organic sales that you can get of people just loving your product and telling others that they love it. And then the last reason why someone would purchase your handmade candles over a more mass-produced candle is the customization factor about it. I feel like I have exhausted this topic, but I don't care. I'm going to keep talking about it because I feel like this is such a unique part of our experience as business owners, as small business owners, that when we are able to hand make our own items, the possibilities of customization is kind of endless. I often say or think of a candle business like a t-shirt business because of the amount of customization options that there are. Not only can we change up the colors of the jars, the fragrances that we use, do actual custom blends, but we can actually change the label design, what the label says. if not hundreds of thousands, I mean, just tons of endless opportunities and different possibilities that you are able to customize. And I think that that is something that definitely makes us stand apart from other mass-produced companies. I don't know if you'd be able to call up Yankee Candle or Bath and Body Works to create a custom happy birthday candle for your mom. Maybe they do. Honestly, maybe they do, and I haven't looked into it. I really didn't look into it prior to sitting down for this podcast. But if it was something really, really custom, like a specific event that you were going to, or a specific name and birthday or something that you were wanting to do, I don't know if that's an option. But with small handmade businesses, we are, or at least if you can, it's definitely a good idea for you to be able to offer as many customization options as possible. If anybody's wanting to customize anything about the candle, that you are able to actually do. Now, if it's including changing up everything, like doing a completely different jar and all that kind of stuff, then that's a little bit too much. But if it's just changing up the label and you're able to do that, and you do work on your own labels, or you're able to offer that, highly, highly recommend it, because I do think that it is going to make you stand out, and give people more of a reason why they should purchase from you versus the more mass-produced, larger candle companies. And I, again, will always reiterate this, will always say this, because I do think that the customization factor with your candle business will be able to set you apart from a lot of different companies. And it could also set you apart from other small handmade candle companies. And I know that many of you probably think, okay, well, if the mass-produced companies are not our competition, then that means that other small candle companies are our competition. And I mean, I guess you can think about it like that. I personally, maybe it's because I share so much on YouTube, I do not for a moment think of anybody in my community as direct competition to me. Even at markets, all of the candle companies that I've met there before are so sweet and so nice, and I end up becoming friends with them. And it's pointless, and there's just so many different people in the world, and they're going to like so many different kinds of things, so many different kinds of candles. Why do you think that there's, again, so many different t-shirt companies and so many different types of bread? And I mean, because everybody is going to like something different. So somebody that likes your candle may not like somebody else's candle that's a small candle business, but maybe somebody doesn't like your candle and they like somebody else's candle because it's more Harry Potter themed or whatever it is. You know, there are just something for everybody. There's always something for everybody, and everybody is always going to have a different preference in what they like and what they don't like. And that's why it's so important to be able to know going into it that although there are so many different candle companies, including the mass-produced, including the smaller handmade candle businesses, that you are what is going to be able to set yourself apart, make yourself more unique, and you may also be the reason why people purchase from you. Being able to have that personal touch, being able to show the quality of your work and showing how much time and energy and effort you put into your candles. And there are so many types of customers that appreciate that so much and will spend extra money to not only get a better performing candle, a better product, a product that they can customize, but also a product that came from somebody who just really put in that effort and that work into it, and they want to support you. And that is why that people will purchase from you. So I don't want any of you who are looking to start a candle business, or if you already have started your candle business and you're still worried about the thought of people just not wanting to purchase from you for XYZ reason. Because if you are just yourself, you are working hard, you are working on quality, and you are working on sharing behind the scenes and sharing about your brand, there will be a customer base for you. But with that, I think I am going to wrap up today's podcast episode. I know it was a little bit shorter than typical. I really just kind of wanted to go through and kind of hit these points so that you don't feel like you don't stand a chance in this market of all of these candles, because you absolutely do stand a chance, and you can make it, and you can do it. I promise you, there are so many people in the world, and nobody has done a small candle business like you yet. So you are definitely very unique, and you can absolutely do it. And with that, I think I'm going to end today's episode right here. As always, I am so excited or so happy that you have taken the time to hang out with me and listen to today's podcast. It really does mean a lot to me. If you have any questions and you are watching on YouTube, feel free to leave it down in the comment section below. But with that, I will see you in my next episode.